What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about pre-workout nutrition, actually all workout nutrition. So peri-workout, again, peri meaning around. So how can we structure our nutrition around our workout for best performance? I just recorded this entire video and my mic was not on. Round two, let's go. It's going to be even better. So again, the reason that peri-workout nutrition matters is because if we truly want to maximize muscle growth, which I'm guessing we all want to do, we want to structure our training in such a way that allows us to A, perform the best, and B, recover the best. I'll be talking about this stuff later as a bonus, so stay tuned. So starting with pre-workout nutrition, this is probably going to be the most important, and so this is the one that you should definitely take away from and make sure that you're checking all these boxes. So with pre-workout nutrition, what we're trying to do is three things. We're trying to top off liver glycogen stores because we know that muscle glycogen takes probably closer to 36 hours in order to replenish. So you're really not going to be doing that with a single meal. It's going to be more of a day's worth of food. And so we're topping off liver glycogen stores. We're topping off blood sugar, which is going to be used for not only muscular contraction, but also for our brain, our old thinker. And then the third and the most important thing that we're really trying to do with pre-workout nutrition is eliminate hunger. They did some really cool studies. RP did a podcast on this. They had one of the lead researchers on the podcast and they were interviewing him. And what he talked about is that it was like two groups of subjects. One group had a carbohydrate meal and then another group had a meal with zero nutrients. So it had no carbs, fats, or protein, but it had volume. And what they found is that both groups saw equal performance, like they both saw good performance. And the reason is because even though the placebo meal had no nutrients, it still filled up the stomach and gave them that sensation of fullness. And again, that is really what we're trying to do with pre-workout nutrition. And we're trying to do it in a way that does not upset our stomach and cause us GI distress. With our pre-workout meal, again, we're trying to eat this 1 to 2 hours before we start training. The reason you don't want to have it closer is because when you eat like 30 minutes before you train, what can happen is you can get actually a blood glucose drop. And so you can get into a hypoglycemic state. And the reason is because as your body secretes insulin from the pancreas, the insulin takes up those carbohydrates from the bloodstream and stores them. If you are going through that process of carbohydrate storage as well as carbohydrate depletion through training, you get this mega drop, in your blood glucose, which is not good. And so you definitely want to eat 1 to 2 hours before, definitely not like 20, 30 minutes before. And then kind of the last thing with pre-workout is that you want it to be your lowest fat and lowest fiber meal of the day. The reason for that is because, again, you're trying not to upset your stomach and get GI distress, which can then distract you from your workout and cause you to have increased perception of effort, which we know reduces training performance. If we want to talk about numbers, try to get in at least 1 gram of carbohydrates per kilogram of body weight. That's kind of the minimum. Anything above that, you're going to get into kind of diminishing returns territory. Me personally, I like to have a big pre-workout meal. It's one of my full meals. It's not like a snack. If you want to be like a minimalist, you can just have like some rice cakes, some Rice Krispies, something like that that's easy on the stomach, and get your 1 gram of carbohydrate per kilogram body weight, and you will be covered for most of the benefits of pre-workout. Intra-workout nutrition, the goal is twofold. Number one, we're trying to top off our blood sugar. And number two, we are fighting off fatigue mechanisms, specifically supraspinal fatigue, which again, supra means above. And we're talking about above the spine. That's going to be our noggin, our brain, and also known as like the central nervous system or global fatigue. That's what we're fighting off, because when the brain senses carbohydrates being ingested, it fights off some of the sympathetic stress response that you get from training, which then allows us to push harder because we have less perception of fatigue present. So that's pretty awesome. There's a decent amount of research around intra-workout nutrition. You mostly are going to see benefits when you are either dieting or when your workouts are taking much longer than an hour and a half. If your workouts are under about an hour, you probably don't need an intra. But I have seen amazing benefits with an intra-workout myself. I literally just use this Gatorade right here. And again, I've seen pretty awesome benefits just anecdotally. And another one of the cool things about this when it comes to the research is that they found that you don't even really need to ingest, like you don't need to digest the intra-workout. Literally, your brain senses the carbohydrates in your mouth and it signals to the brain to kind of fight off some of those fatigue mechanisms that we were just talking about. And so really what you need to do is drink the carbohydrates, just have it in your mouth, switch it around for 10 to 15 seconds, and you can spit it out and still get the benefit of an intra-workout drink, which is pretty awesome. I mean, if you drink it, obviously, then you're gonna get the blood sugar replenishment, which is good for training performance and just cognitive benefits. But I digress. For intra-workouts, a lot of people do 5 grams of carbs per exercise. That's one way to do it, but you really don't need any more than 30 to 50 grams, especially if your workouts aren't like 2 hours long. If they are like 2 hours long, then, getting closer to 50 grams or above might be a pretty decent idea. But again, other than that, it's not that deep. But yeah, good carbohydrate sources are going to be liquids, again, because you are skipping the mechanical digestion. You're going straight into chemical digestion when it comes to the stomach. I like Gatorade because it's cheap and it works, but you can do cluster dextrin. That's going to be the fastest digesting and kind of the try-hard version. But you know, people do honey, people do Skittles, and all sorts of things. And then finally, you've got your post-workout nutrition, which is actually not as important as a lot of people think, especially when it comes to like the post-workout anabolic window. You really just need a meal 2 to 3 hours post-training, and this is going to be a full meal with protein, carbohydrates, and fats, and that's really it. We know that total protein amount, like throughout an entire day, is more important than protein timing. And so again, 2 to 3 hours post-workout, make sure you're getting a full meal in. In the strength and conditioning textbooks that I have read, you typically want a 3-to-1 ratio of carbohydrates to protein. And so if you're having like 50 grams of protein, for example, that's 150 grams of carbs. And that's basically just the full meal. And that's really all there is to post-workout nutrition. And then finally, as a little bonus, I'll talk about pre-workout supplements. This stuff right here, this should all be gone. My perspective on these supplements is kind of jaded because in my opinion, all of the influencers and all of the science communicators that support pre-workout and that really push it and promote it, they're all sponsored by pre-workout companies. Think about it. All we know is that caffeine does most of the heavy lifting. That's what all the research is over. And so everything else that comes in a pre-workout supplement is literally just icing on the cake. It's a cherry on top. And so when influencers are promoting these supplements, they're really just trying to get your money. And that's kind of a jaded perspective, I know, but that's the truth, because you can literally just drink some coffee, enjoy a nice cup of coffee. I love coffee, and you're going to get most of the performance benefits. And so the only reason I drink this stuff is because, to be completely honest with you guys, my parents buy it. They also use pre-workout, and I'm just mooching off of them. When I go back to school and I'm buying stuff with my own money, I will probably not buy pre-workout. I'm literally just going to buy these Gatorades because I find the effect of intra-workout to be greater for me than the effect of pre-workout. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something. God bless you. Hope you have a great week. See ya.